What is up, Voodoo Tribe? It is your girl Naja, aka the Voodoo Child, and I am back with another book review. And today we are going to be reviewing a throwback.
Confessions of a Video Vixen.
A long-awaited throwback on this channel. How are y'all feeling the wig? Let me know. Inspired by the bangs, you know? So before I get into it, I'm gonna make like an obvious disclaimer here, but it might not be so obvious. There is gonna be mentions of some things. Take heed of the trigger warning at the beginning of this video. I mean, it's YouTube, child. Like, don't expect nothing to, you know, for me, but we are gonna get into some things. I'm gonna have to put my comfort to the side for a few things. This video is going to be from the perspective of like a younger person. I am the age of Karrine's son, so I think I'm like 2 years older than him. I know there's going to be tons of different types of people watching this video. There's probably going to be my older generation that are into the music artists that I'm about to be talking about and stuff like that. There's going to be a generation like mine where like we're aware of Superhead, but we don't really like know the details. And then there's going to be a whole new generation that's going to be watching this that doesn't know anything other than the name. I'm done rambling. I'm sorry. Let's get into the book. So the book starts out talking about her upbringing, her childhood trauma, her parents, and just her youth in general and coming of age. I don't know about you guys, but I always wonder the origin stories of these type of women. You know, like the very sexually liberated women. Like, have you always been that way? Did something happen? Or did you just have parents that were like open about that type of stuff and talk to you about that type of stuff? So that's why you just have, you know, you're just open about that thing. But her story is so traumatic. I was so triggered reading about her childhood. She was forced to be so grown so young. So for starters, like a lot of Superhead types, they either had a good example or a bad example, and she had a bad example.
You know, my mother would just carouse. She'd be gone for 2 and 3 days at a time. I wouldn't know where she was.
Karrine's mother was a pick-me, pretty much. She was what we would call today the quote-unquote preference that nobody really wanted to keep. She thought that by having babies with people and her looks would keep a man around, and she prioritized keeping men around over her kids and mainly her daughter. She was just very, very, very nasty towards her daughter, adultified her daughter at a very young age.
Shaming for me was something that I learned about really young, and I shouldn't have learned it this young. But the first person who called me a slut or a tramp was my mom.
That was playing jacks, right?
Yeah, because I was playing jacks with the boys. And I didn't understand what that was at the time. Of course, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Made her feel shame and guilt for the most traumatic point in her life, which triggered me to the point where I almost had to put the book down. Karrine was SA'd as a teenager.
From being an abused child to being as a young child.
The description, though, just bothered me to my, like, it was just so messed up. Paraphrase for anybody that, you know, he had to tap out because it was a lot. Karrine was hanging out with, you know, an older crowd, so which usually happens, well, not the older crowd part, but going outside to find family happens when the inside of your house is so freaking, it's just turmoil. But at this time, Karrine was still very in a fearful mindset of her mom. Things were very strict. She comes from the islands, so it's a very strict, very religious, children are seen and not heard type of upbringing.
Karrine Steffans grew up in the Caribbean. There was little money and not much in the way of role models.
When she met these new people, she couldn't really do the things that they did until one night she was like, F it, I'm gonna go do it, doing the whole switcheroo. And y'all know the switcheroo if you were ever young, wild, and free, or was just rebellious as a teen, when you tell your parents, I'm gonna go hang out at so-and-so's house and spend the night, but you're really hitting the damn streets. That's what she was doing. She was hitting them damn streets. Now, I don't think that this is warranted for what ends up happening to her. So she ends up meeting this girl who, and I've met a girl like this and when I was coming of age as well. Let me know if you guys have in the comments. She befriended this girl who was a party girl, but she had one of those parents that was the cool mom that made sure their party girl had their grades in check, their college admission together, their driver's license, and you know, internship for their career. So yeah, you can go and fuck around all you want, but I got you so you don't fuck yourself over too bad. Like, let me know if y'all met anybody like that growing up. I have. So she befriended one of those girls. Now, these type of people are very dangerous to hang out with because they usually are trying to prove something to a group of people, and that's just my opinion. Usually these type of people be trying to prove themselves to the bad boys, the bad guys. It's a different type of pick-me that can get very dangerous, okay? Now, this, again, of why I would never victim blame Karrine for this is because not only was she a minor, she was desperate to get out of an abusive home and be around friends and stuff, but her only examples of women were like pick-me women that would do these off-the-wall things for men and male validation, right? Look, her mom, right? And now you got this other adult woman who is the parent of your homegirl. Oh, and this lady works for CPS. Yeah, digest that. She works for freaking CPS and lets her daughter run the street and do all this stuff, but has her back. So she goes and hangs out with Miss College, Miss University, and the girl sets her up. It's an obvious setup from the beginning, but I don't think that she expected Karrine to naturally be this actually, you know, they go to this party and there's this boy there who Karrine thinks is cute. You know, they go into the bathroom together. They try to get intimate. It doesn't really work because she's never done anything like that before, and I'm not gonna get too deep into details. If you're clicking on this video, you know about women anatomy, so like, you know why it wasn't going down. She was consenting to this person, but I mean, you're a child. Can you really consent, right? And the boy was older than her. I think he was like 16, 17, something like that. The girl's like 14 or 13, or I'm gonna check and put it on the screen. So after they got done doing what they was doing in the bathroom, there was a guy who was the leader of this little nightlife crew that hangs out with underage girls. He pretty much says he wants to have his way with Karrine, and her friend pretty much just like lets it happen.
It's funny to me how everyone is so concerned about naming the celebrities, but no one is concerned about me naming the man that raped me when I was 13 and how his life is going to be now. You know what I mean? I'm
talking this grown-ass man is violating this little girl in front of multiple people, like, because you know how hotels it's 2 beds in the same room, so they're just pretending and disassociating like this is a grown man. Like, that part was so hard for me to read, because what she described, a lot of young girls have to get like surgery to repair themselves, and like what she was describing was just so traumatizing. And she still didn't say like why she is the way she is, but I think that event is why she was so desensitized to sexual acts, because like if you're going to put things like losing your virginity or the first time you are dated or stuff like that as like these holy goalposts, that could really fuck with somebody's self-esteem who was brutally like that. I've never read anything like that in my life. That was crazy. Because you know the mom is strict, so she's like, where is my daughter at? The CPS worker does end up going, they run off to a payphone.
It's like a movie. We were under this car holding our breaths, and we can see their feet and them saying, where'd they go? Where'd they go? I don't know where they go. And we're just sitting there, these 2 little girls, 13 years old, under this car. And we stayed there for a while until we were sure that they were gone. And then we walked to the nearest payphone and we called her mom to come get us.
The little girl, the friend, college, university, trying to play it off like, you know, she's scared.
This girl knew some guys who were older. They were all over 18. My girlfriend and I kept it secret. I don't know if she told her mom or not. We just never talked about it. Because I gave them a description of what one of the assailants looked like. And
well, didn't your friend know one of them or something?
Yeah. She knew all of them.
All of them.
I still feel like that was a setup.
Please don't think I'm out here victim blaming. Obviously, the biggest L's were taken by the CPS mama and Karrine's mom for not calling the police. The girls were gone for like 3 freaking days. What I'm saying is, I feel like that girl thought that it was going to go one way, and it ended up getting really, really bad and really, really scary. Okay? That's what I mean by she set her up. Because I'm not doubting that nothing happened to the other girl, and I'm not trying to say that this is some 13-year-old mastermind, okay?
She ends up going home, and her mom basically accused her of liking the event. And her mom is just disgusting to me. Like, her mother is nasty.
When I got home, my mother, after being gone for 3 days,
Right.
my mother grabbed me by the hair, threw me on the ground, and started kicking me and punching me and telling me what a whore I was and how I smelled like sex and that I was just a whore. And he left all these hickeys and bruises and things on me, and she just kept yelling at me and telling me what a whore I was and how dirty and how disgusting I was, and kicking me and punching me and threw me in a hot shower. And so I didn't have a chance to say anything. No one asked me any questions. No one said, where were you? What happened? Are you okay? Do you need help? No one asked me anything.
Yeah, I don't blame her for running away. She was a teen runaway. Again, leaned on another boy. That boy's mother wanted to trick her out, so she got her into dancing. And all of this is happening, guys. She's not even 18 years old. All the stuff I just said to you, she is not even 18 years old. And I know some of y'all are probably like, well, where's the dad? So her dad was a factor at one point. He is like I think she said he's like a white man with money or something. I don't know. But she is the second family to this man.
I moved in with my father, and by this time my dad had moved from New York to Scottsdale, Arizona. My father at the time owned a number of Allstate agencies, so he was in the white and yellow pages. That's how I ended up in Arizona. I was 15. So I ran away from my dad's house about a year in. So by the time I was 16, I was on my own.
She said you only get one chance to live with him and then you're gone. And I guess she lived with him for a little bit in her teenage years, but it wasn't working out and she ended up leaving. And like he said, you don't get to come back. So, which is really dumb. It's like both of her parents abandoned her for what? I don't know. Why did they even? I don't know. So she was dancing for a while with her new little boyfriend's mom, but she ended up being a little bitter Betty and decided, girl, you're making way too much money. You're younger than me. You doing too, like, you gotta go. That was Karrine's explanation for why the mom didn't like her no more. And when I first read it, I was like, girl, like, that is so toxic.
It's because 20, 30-year-old me wasn't this strong. She wasn't this sturdy. She wasn't this solid. It doesn't bother me that I'll never be young again. It bothers you that I'll never be young again. Because you'll never be able to treat me and talk to me the way you did before.
But I mean, it's a different world. Like the dancing world, I'm pretty sure that was tea. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's her origin story. That's her family. She doesn't really get into her siblings or anything like that. Just more so how abusive her mother was and how like traumatized her mother made her, to the point where she was like wetting the bed until she was a teenager. Like, it was torture. It was really bad.
And like I put on the screen earlier, I could also see like where the internalized misogyny, all of that comes from with Karrine, because of having a mother like this and being stabbed in the back by similar type of women. She even says multiple times in the book how like she just doesn't get along with girls, doesn't get along with women, like, and the only people she can get along with is men, and blah 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 blah. Doesn't make it a correct or right mindset. I'm just saying I can understand why she is the way she is in that retrospect.
And I could see how she most likely has like, and I'm not diagnosing nobody with that, girl. This is just me as a reader, okay? I could see how she would disassociate a lot from certain things. So now we're going to move into what I like to call the Cinderella story of her life. So this is when she started dating Cool G Rap, okay?
I was an underage high school stripper.
And you met Cool G Rap during this time?
Yes.
Now, I am young as hell. I don't know who this man was. When I was reading this book, I was like, who is this? What is he? And the things he was doing to her just were disgusting.
It was an abusive relationship, and it had been almost from the start.
That is a pattern. We're going to have a whole section where we talk about the men. The men in this book are freaking disgusting. Like, so nasty. There's only like 2 or 3 that I'm like, oh, that's a gentleman right there. The rest, disgusting. Disgust me. We're going to get into it. I'm pretty sure that's the whole reason that y'all clicked on this video, because online, they don't even show the full list of all the men that are in the books. But I'm gonna give you the tea. I'm gonna give you the tea here, okay? So, boom, Cinderella Story with Cool G. We're just gonna call him G because that's what she calls him in the book. This man has been on Vlad TV to talk about him in this book and like all this stuff.
People want to run with what homegirl is saying. You know what I'm saying? To me, number one, you need to mature more. Get nobody paint a picture of G-Rap, but G-Rap. I'm not the type of dude that's gonna, oh, you did that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna do that for the sake of the public. I think she has things, issues she need to deal with and need to address.
And we all agree that Vlad is just a little too involved in, like, why are you this involved in this? I don't know. He need to stay out of black people's business.
Number one, that man is a, I don't care. He is a pedo.
So from the time I was 17 to 21, we were involved with each other.
He did not know how old I was until after I turned 18.
So he was 28 and you were 18?
18, and he found out because I had gotten arrested for breaking a glass or something, and the police let him know how old I was.
And then the cops asked him for ID and all this stuff, come to find out her real name, her age, everything. He said he was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't even know this person he was with.
You could tell me all day that you could lie to somebody about your age and that you're older than you're trying to say. Older people can tell. We could tell. I can tell when an 18-year-old, I could see a teenager. This is her when she got out of the relationship. Hold on. Hopefully they'll let me even show this. Look at her. Like, look at her. She looks like a freaking baby. That man knew that she was younger. The fact that he made her call him daddy and stuff like that. Like, you got off on the fact that she was younger, that she was small, that she was unsure of herself, insecure, a victim of assault. So she let certain things slide, like getting the shit beat out of her. She would get the shit beat out of her, bro. Like, this man was disgusting.
When I was pregnant with my son, I was made to sleep on the floor in the other room, which didn't have a bed, so I slept on the floor for a while. He beat me often. I was hospitalized several occasions. He was arrested. He was made to take anger management classes. Didn't help. I was abused throughout my pregnancy. It was always downhill. There was never an uphill in that relationship.
And he technically, in my opinion, was essaying her as well, because she said there were times where her body parts were in pain, like messing with this man. And I just had to go and look him up. I'm like, how does this man have so much pull? Like, who is this? He done locked this girl up in the house, but somehow all these rappers know about her and their relationship. Like, because when we talk about the man portion, we got to see how many men just stood by while they knew this shit was going on. Like, this girl was getting the bricks beat off her ass by this man, this big old nasty. She even said that man don't got no damn teeth. She was going in on his teeth, looking like fucking Orbit white chiclets. Like, what she's basically described their relationship as is she was a slave. She made no money, she cooked, she cleaned, and she gave him some top. Whenever he got upset about something, she had to give him some top. So she's already being used as a mandatory tool her whole life, really. Like, she's never really had a consensual, she did have that little boyfriend, but it was still transactional because of his mama, you know? So she's never had anything to where she didn't need to show, in her words, where she needed to show appreciation. And that was his sick way of forcing her to show appreciation. This dude is gnarly. And I don't care, look, because I know you're still alive. All the people involved are still alive. Look, that's my opinion. You are gnarly. You are disgusting. You're gnarly. And the things you did to that woman while she was pregnant with your son is disgusting. And that sucks that he has to know that that's who you are. And I'm sure he knows already. We're the same age, so I'm sure he knows your whole tea of just how fucked up you really are.
My son doesn't want to be around someone who beat his mother. I don't know a son who would want to fraternize with someone who beat his mother.
You know what I'm saying? I'm always here for my son, you know what I mean? You know, I love my son, that's me right there. You know, but you know, I can't stress it, you know what I mean? I gotta, you know, life goes on.
And then it just was so toxic because he was from a bad environment as well, just like her. And she would go to the hood sometimes to go and see his family and stuff. She had a baby by him when she was 19, and like, no judgment, but no judgment. She done dropped the baby off with his family so she can go and like be somebody, I guess, once the relationship ended. But it's like, lo and behold, she left the baby with him. The baby teeth about to be rotted out, and you over here get clowning him for his chitlets in his mouth. Where do you think that came from? They was on Section 8 EBT food stamps. All they got are sugary Kool-Aid drinks, Cheez-Its, and snacks. They don't got damn vegetable or fruit in that fucking house. What did you think was gonna happen, bitch? Sorry, not to snap on you or nothing, but I empathize so much for your son, because it's like, and I know she knows this now. But it's like, you chose so many men over him. And it's like, damn, bro. You chose so many men over him to the point where you gave him back to the lion's den. This man was sick. I can't even get into detail how gnarly this guy was towards her, especially when she was pregnant. There was a point in time where they done moved another bitch in the house while she's pregnant. I don't know who that other bitch is, but bitch, you gotta be ashamed of yourself. She was underweight, pregnant, underweight, and his reasoning was, well, we can't be intimate anymore because you're just too pregnant, so we gotta bring another girl in here. This man is like textbook narcissist. I believe every word she said about him. I don't care how much money you got. I believe every word she said about him. And quiet as it's kept, she said the money dried up. I get he's like a staple piece in the hip-hop community and everything, but seems like some people surpassed him. And with that bitterness, he wouldn't even let the girl, on some Mariah Carey, Tommy Mottola shit, he wouldn't even let the girl listen to the radio. Narcissist. Because he didn't want her to hear other rappers and music and stuff, but she would sneak and like watch the TV and everything. But yeah, he didn't even want her to listen to the damn radio because he was scared that she was gonna fuck with their music and leave him. Like, just controlling. I feel like he just knew that he had it good and he didn't want to share, because he had somebody that was beautiful but damaged enough to control. He makes a few more appearances now and again, because I mean, that's the father of her kid, but I can't in good conscience say like I'm happy about how the Superhead saga started. And it was by her packing all her shit in the car, pulling up to her baby daddy house, dropping the kid off, running back to her car, and leaving.
She took the baby. She was getting ready to go to New York, and it has all documentation. Says she pulled up in a parking lot, threw the baby, and just pulled off in her car. She left him, threw him out in the street. Like, this is when he was like around 1. He could barely walk. She didn't look back. How you put a baby in the street? You didn't even make sure he was with his father. She had to take that baby to New York with him. He had to go to the police because he couldn't take a child from one state.
And I know some people out there will be like, well, they do it. The men do it too. It doesn't make it right, bitch.
With that being said, I don't think that Karrine is just this perfect, virtuous person that never has lied a day in her freaking life. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I just think that when it comes to her baby daddy specifically and the abuse and all of that, like, I don't think she's lying. And I call BS when he's on some, oh, I don't need to take up for myself. Sir, if I got accused of the things that lady said you did, I would be getting lawyers for defamation. Like, it was bad. I wouldn't want that associated with my name at all. And he could deny it all he wants, but every interview I've seen of him in the new millennium has been talking about her. So, and one way or the other, she becomes a topic. But yeah, when it comes to this, I don't think she's lying.
Okay, so now we are going to get into the men. Now, I actually have to look at my list for real for this one, because when I tell you, there were so many men that I was not expecting. Our girl does not discriminate. She does not discriminate. Let's just say that. And how she talks about men. That's the crazy thing.
Each time I have sex with someone, you'll read in the book where I say, I just loved him. Why do you say that? Because I noticed that. I noticed that you would have sex with this guy and you said that you loved him. Yeah. What was that emotion that you were feeling, and why would you say something like that?
Because in my head I did.
She loves all of them. It's not how today, where when you have a femme fatale like Superhead, like, you would expect them to be on some like, men are trash, I just use them for what I want and I do what I gotta do to get what I need, right? That's not her. She actually forms like these imaginary relationships. Like, she does not talk about these men like they're tricks or nothing. She literally finds one little good quality within them that she likes, and she just holds on to it for dear life and falls in love with the idea okay? And then once the idea is shattered, she kind of like clocks out. We're gonna start off with the first guy that decided to pop up. And it makes me so uncomfortable because of my age. Like, I can't imagine this person doing none of this stuff. Like, ugh. Ice-T. Ice-T was super, let me not call her that, was Karrine's, I guess sugar daddy's sponsor for like a decade. Like, not that long, maybe like 5-6 years or so. Like, that was her first big sponsor. So she moved to the West Coast to, like, you know, get into some stuff, and he basically heard around about her situation with her baby daddy. That's why I said all these men that just heard about her getting her ass beat, he wanted to rescue her, he wanted to save her. And of course, everything is always transactional. He over here got old girl making flicks in the freaking hotel room. So there is flicks of Ice-T out somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what him and Coco be doing. I'm like, ew. He's just ew. Like, this is the Ice-T I know. Okay? I can't even imagine this Ice-T. Like, no. This is the Ice-T I know. And she was fucking with him for some time, up until she got her new sponsor, which is Papa. And if you've read the book and you don't know who Papa is yet, I am going to tell you. So stay tuned. Ice-T was there the majority of her career. He wasn't like a manager. He was a self-proclaimed pimp at the time. That's what she called him. Yeah, he would literally just give her money and they would hook up and he would pay her rent.
When I met her, she was in a bad situation, you know, and she actually is the wife of one of my friends, a person I respected. Right. So, you know, I come from the school where, you know, I never move on another man's real estate, even if it goes into foreclosure. You understand me? So that made her off limits to me, right? Because I knew her man. But
pretty much it. So now Ja Rule. Ja Rule is a big partner in this book. When I tell you she loved her some Ja Rule and Murder Inc. Like,
she used to be out and about. She was a party girl for that. She used to be everywhere.
All of them was having just orgies and just doing drugs. They were popping beans, the bean kicked in, and they were being nasty. Like, I was gagging when she would mention the fact that, like, Ja Rule knew that 50 Cent was like outdoing him and stuff, like, and she's like pillow talking. I also thought it was interesting how she felt some type of way when she found out that Ja Rule had a baby on the way and she was doing all this stuff with him. It made her reflect on her situation with G, like, damn, that was me, you know, in that situation where my man was out in these streets doing this shit because I wasn't able to put out, type of thing. Like, so that caused a rift in their relationship for like 2 seconds. That bitch didn't care. She hopped right back on Ja Rule. And Ja Rule is actually the person that gave her the name Superhead. And he is the one that started the rumor of, yeah, there's this girl and this is what she does.
Superhead is a moniker that I gave myself in a personal relationship of mine that I had with an artist, and it was a joke between us based on our love life, and it was all of those things. But unfortunately, it got out, and once it got out, it got misunderstood. You know, I'm not saying it's not true.
Superhead was a word between you two, or
just between us. It's something that I came up with between us. It was funny to us. It was meaningful to us, and but then I find that sometimes men talk more than women do. And then so it ended up being a thing of its own. And so what I did was, knowing that it was going to be, I knew that it would get out of control. I knew that with everything that I was doing, that it was going to come up. And so instead of allowing someone else to bring it up and try to bring me down with it, I decided to turn it around, be honest about it, talk about it, discuss it, and move on.
Karrine till this day does not fuck with that shit. She says nobody has called her that to her face since the book's been out. I call cap, but hey, that's what she said. Blame Ja Rule. Ja Rule is the one with his big ass mouth, went around and told everybody what was going on. And she said she would have threesomes with Ja Rule and other women. Like, and I'm just thinking, like, you doing all this and bringing that home to your wife, that's disgusting. Like, shame on Ja Rule, looking like the Target dog, like, ew. She saw like a father figure in Ice-T in the beginning, and that in a weird, twisted way. Then Ja Rule, she just loved the fact that he was just so open sexually and flamboyant and stuff like that. to feed her appetite and stuff. So then when this guy came along, I was very intrigued, especially because I consider myself, you know, like a little alternative kid. And I was not expecting my boy from Limp Bizkit at all. She said my man got a Prince Albert, and I might as well just gag. She did like him. She liked his personality. She, again, liked the idea of him, of this like cool rocker, alternative hip-hop, you know, something new. He was big in the label with Ja Rule and everything, so that's how they met up. But she was courting him, actually. She was courting him for some time because she wasn't used to men not wanting to do the do right then and there, right? And he was not one of those guys. He was very reserved, very to himself. And she just got this picture of him in her head, like, this is going to be worth it when it goes down. So finally they meet up and they're about to do the do. And this man says something so cringe. He says the most cringe shit in the midst of getting Superhead's specialty. Let's say that. He basically just said like a childish ass lie. He was like, if you do something that's biologically already about to happen, I'm going to marry you. And it just turned her off because it's like, boy, don't nobody want to marry you. Like, nobody, what? Anyway, it just ruined the whole mirage of like this nonchalant, cooler than cool guy. It's like, no, he's a fuckboy like everybody else. He just so happens to have a Prince Albert, which I heard is actually a really bad piercing to get. Like, they end up, with age, men that get Prince Alberts have to pee sitting down because it comes out of the wrong. This grossed me out. Oh my God. DMX. Hearing her describe this grown man barking and growling while doing stuff and her just being so excited about it and just so, she is a freak. She is a freak. Like, she is just like, I loved hearing him sound like a fucking Doberman in the hotel. Like, mental illness. Rest in peace, DMX. I really don't got much to say about that.
I'm gonna pass on that one.
Irv Gotti. Okay, Irv Gotti, in my opinion, is on the same level as G.
Like the last time Irv Gotti came by here, he had a whole lot of things to say.
Really? That's sweet.
Let's play the video so you see exactly what I mean.
Okay, well, the whole thing is like, when I seen her on Oprah, right? Gail is a good friend of mine, Oprah's BFF. Right. I was like, yo, y'all really let her on it? Wow. And she was on Oprah crying and stuff like that. Yo, this is... Stop it. She likes performing fellatio, and she likes it. She likes it. Oh my God. He's running out of material though.
A man who has shown his life on television with his series and the way he treats his family, his wife, and his children, and the way he showed the world how he disrespects even his own children. I think that there's nothing that he can say that holds weight or water.
Irv Gotti is a narcissist. Irv Gotti is a narcissist and a sexual, like, deviant, and he doesn't like seeing women shine. A lot of the things that Ashanti said about him, I believe her 100% because it mirrors a lot of the things that she said before Ashanti was even a thing.
I'm on my own, and Ashanti's coming to the studio every day, and she used to wear these juicy sweats, and her ass was looking fat. Her ass was looking great.
Oh my God, he's such a pyro.
One day, I was like, yo, I'll take you home. She said, "Back, cool." Walk into a front door of a crib. She turns to say goodbye. And I just kissed her and grabbed her ass. What?
Oh my God.
She was the Ashanti before the Ashanti. Ashanti just so happened to be talented in the music business, right? Karrine had no ambitions musically, so that was never like a thing. So Irv would just use her as a sex object, whereas Ashanti, he could use her as a sex object and make money off of her in that way, right?
Clear this up. Okay. We're not gonna say relationship. We dealt with each other, but having a like, was Irv my boyfriend? Was I his girlfriend? Never.
Really?
Never. So,
well, was he married? He was still married at the time, right? He was married.
That's my point. Irv had several girlfriends. Definitely feel like manipulation played a heavy part into me and Irv's situation, you know?
At this point, Irv was more so pimping Karrine out. He met her on a music video shoot. They hit it off, and he would kind of just use her as like a party favor. Like, hey, she's Superhead. You want to try it out? Like, and that's pretty much how she met a a lot of these high profile men in the industry at around the people that I'm about to mention now. So Jay-Z, Irv introduced her to Jay-Z. Now, I know that blogs and stuff made up all these stories about her and Jay-Z after the fact because it's just so scandalous. This is Beyonce's husband, and this was a point in time where Beyonce was a very big star, and people already didn't think publicly, fuck that, publicly people were saying Beyonce is too good for Jay-Z. Just for us to find out that he was getting some top from Superhead in the car. According to her, it only happened once. And what's very interesting to me is he used protection as well. Like, this man is a whole John. Like, that is some trick shit. You putting a rubber on while you about to get some top. You know you doing something dirty you're not supposed to be doing. Not saying Karrine is dirty or anything, but like, you don't know who these people are. You didn't know her. You didn't know her. Some of you guys don't know that she was on a movie set. She was actually in a movie alongside Lorenz Tate. And Vin Diesel was on set, and she was smashing Vin Diesel before he was even La Familia Too Fast, Too Furious. In the Me Too era, this would be looked at as a no-no, okay? So they were giving each other sex eyes the whole time on set, and Vin kind of just like grabs her into the fucking dressing room. They do the do, but just imagine if like, what if I had something in my eye and I wasn't giving you sex eyes, and she was hunching with Vin for a little bit, and then they just went their separate ways once the movie was done being filmed. Lorenz Tate did not smash. Lorenz Tate was actually, and it's so interesting because I just imagine him being a certain way in real life. Lorenz Tate did not smash. He actually brought his mother and his wife on set a lot, and she actually said that he was a gentleman. It was just nice to hear because there's a lot of homewreckers in this book, and I know a lot of people want to blame her, but no. These men knew they had wives, kids, mortgages. Like, there are tons of homewreckers in this book, so that for her to just come out and be like, no, like, this is a real genuine dude. Like, he was real cool. He helped nurture me on set. Like, never tried anything. Brought his wife. Like, you know, so that was, I just wanted to sprinkle that in there. Shout out to Lorenz Tate. He's not the only one in the Power universe that's about to be mentioned. Oh God. Ray J surprised me. Ray J surprised me because of the age. I wasn't expecting that. Now, she's not that much older, but she was hooking up with him when he was a teenager and she was 21, which I side-eye because if the genders were reversed, yeah, you know.
How did you feel about that, about getting put into a book like that?
I didn't like it, but you know, I dealt with it. It was all good. I just moved on. I was like 18, so at first I laughed about it, and then I moved on about it.
Because you guys were about the same age at the time. That's what she was saying. You guys were both kids.
Yeah. Well, no, I was younger, I think. I forgot.
Yeah. They were on some like puppy love shit. Like, I'm talking, she's hunching Ray J in his childhood bedroom. Like, it's really, I had no clue. And poor Ray J had no clue either, because by this point, she's still smashing Ice-T. She's still smashing Ja Rule, popping the beans and twerking. Ray J doesn't know any of this. He just thinks that this is like his coming of age, you know, that you experimented with. Maybe little fuck buddies or whatever. You might not have been boyfriend or girlfriend, but that's basically what they were. They were just experimenting with each other and seeing, like, you know, what they like, what they don't like. Because this whole time, Karrine just been busting it open, you know, to get what she needs. She's never really, like, experienced any pleasure for herself. And where is the son at? Like, where is your kid at this whole time? Nowhere to be found. Baby is still, I don't know. His family was not very supportive of the relationship at first because of the age and everything. But they did come around. But then when Ray J started getting more well-known and started traveling outside of California, going to places like Atlanta, Arizona, the news about his baby boo caught up, and he was not fucking with her no more. And she said she actually really loved Ray J. But again, she loves everybody. But what she said, she loved Ray J because of his childish nature and all that stuff. And I'm like, girl. And I thought it was really interesting that Ray J ended up going with Kim Kardashian, you know, and how their relationship ended up with the whole sex tape and everything, because that could have been Karrine. Isn't that weird to think about? Do you think it could have been her? Let me know in the comments. Probably would have been more interesting too. But speaking of the Kardashians and stuff, one person that I was not expecting, our girl was smashing Bobby Brown. So there was just a point where she just didn't give a fuck about nobody, marriage, nothing. She was just out here like, bro, sponsor me.
Bobby Brown is asleep on my sofa. You don't believe me, huh? Okay, come with me, but be very, very quiet. Yeah, that has got to be the sickest fucking shit on the planet.
She was smashing Bobby Brown. And it's interesting because wasn't Ray J smashing Whitney? And Kim was on some, you're smashing this old bitch.
Ray, it's Kim. I just want you to know that I think you are so disgusting and desperate. Who leaves their email address on their machine? You clearly want people to call you, but yet you won't call me back. And actually, you know what? Don't call me back. Don't ever call me back. I never want to talk to you ever again. I think you're honestly a sick human being. Have fun with old tag Whitney Houston. Like, she's so sick. And like, Craig is definitely not whack with you guys, because you are just honestly like makes me laugh on how disgusting you guys look.
I feel like that was him getting at Bobby. That shit ain't had nothing to do with Kim. I feel like he was getting back at Bobby for being with his little sweetheart.
You ever been in love yourself?
Yeah, I've been in love a couple times actually. At least where I thought I was in love, yeah, where I really loved the girl and cared for her, yeah, a couple times. My first girl when I was like 16, her, and then this other girl too that I really loved. Yep.
Like, shit, I'm about to be with Whit then, if that's what you gonna do. Let me know. I don't know. I just put that together. I was like, wow. But yeah, she was smashing Bobby for a little bit, and then she's talking about she didn't know Bobby was on drugs. Girl, bye. You knew that man was on drugs. It was too late. I didn't. Girl. Ooh, Exhibit and Diddy. Okay, so Exhibit and Diddy have to get told together because there would not be an Exhibit story. There wouldn't be a Diddy story without an Exhibit story. So she didn't go into detail on whether she was smashing Exhibit, but again, throughout the book, you don't really see her having many male friends that she's not smashing. It's almost like that's like a boundary that she has to overcome with them so she could actually be their friend. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's almost like she talks about these men like, yeah, these are my friends, these are my friends. Oh yeah, by the way, I slept with them. But I mean, it made us closer. We're good. We don't even smash no more. It's just, I just had to do that so I could figure him out. And it's just like, damn. So yeah, her and Exhibit got invited to a P. Diddy party. She had already met P. Diddy beforehand because Irv Gotti introduced them to each other. And she said they smashed. It wasn't spectacular. But something I will mention about Diddy, when she went into the room to smash Diddy, he lured her to the room in another wing of the house because Diddy's in relationships all the time. And when they opened the door, why was Bentley asleep in there? She didn't insinuate anything in the book, but if y'all know who Bentley is, like, imagine Bentley asleep in Diddy's home. What were y'all doing? Bentley got kicked out the room. She did what she did. I just thought that was weird that he was even in there in the first place. It's almost like he just got done wearing Bentley ass out and then he about to wear your ass out. Allegedly, like. So they go to this club. It's her, Exhibit, and Diddy. And Exhibit is vibing. He's dancing. And Karrine noticed, like, she said, Exhibit, do you notice something weird about this? And they look along the walls of the club and there are grown men kissing each other. And she said, Exhibit, this is a gay club. And they both just started laughing because they're probably high on drugs. They don't care. That's how Diddy gets ya. He gets you nice and toasted to where you don't even care. You end up doing something strange for some change. I know Karrine was down. I mean, she was already having like weird orgies with Ja Rule, but Exhibit, I don't know. I'm not gonna out him or nothing. I don't know, but he thought it was funny too.
He said, let's go to this club. So everybody followed the car. The car is fucking silent. You know what I'm saying? We get to this club, and then we walk in the back way. It's a VIP lounge. Ain't nobody in there. And then, you know, the club is going. It's all jumping. And then I'm sitting there with old girl. So then, you know, he's doing his business. We go down and get a drink. You know, we sitting there bobbing to the music. And then she point over the corner. It's two dudes kissing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. Then there's girls in the club, too. And then she pointed another direction. It's another dude over there, like, butt-ass naked dancing. You know what I'm saying? We take off, man. You know what I'm saying? We leave the club directly. I didn't say peace to nobody. I didn't see nobody. Gay. Yeah, it was suspect. A lot of suspect.
The club was
You could chalk it up to being in Miami or whatever.
Blame it on
I've been in a gang. I've been in a gang of clubs, man.
The club was called.
And I ain't never mistakenly stepped into a club having that kind of activity.
So now we get to Papa. Now, there was a point in the book where Ice-T said he had to let her go. I'm assuming it's because, you know, Coco and like, yeah, it just wasn't sustainable having hoes no more. You have to make a choice. Are you going to be a pimp or a father? Like, because you can't have all these grown-ass women calling you daddy when you have a little girl that needs her daddy. Like, you see how that works? So he let her go. And she also had a really bad drug problem, like couldn't keep work. Oh, I forgot Shaq. Yeah, Shaq was her sponsor after Ice-T.
Open the door and it's Shaquille O'Neal. That's how my life works.
What happens when Shaquille walks in?
He said, the furniture's too small. I can't even sit on this couch. I had regular furniture. I didn't have oversized furniture made for a 7-foot man. So tomorrow we're gonna wire some money to your account. You'll get a big screen TV. You'll get some bigger furniture. You'll get a bigger bed for yourself, and you're just gonna redo the whole thing.
At that point, are you thinking, I'm gonna have to do something to get this sofa?
No,
so in your mind, he's just being generous.
He said to me, you're my woman now. There you go. $10,000, you're my woman.
And shout out to Usher for trying to copyright this video, and I didn't even talk about his boring ass in the first place. Like, what the hell?
She said he had a little peen. That's pretty much all there is to it. And that he's pretty mean. Like, he's not a nice person. He's pretty snippy. That's all she's really said about him. So after Shaq is when Papa comes in. So Papa has been looming around, you know, but now he's kind of like her full-time provider. And she never mentions his name throughout the book. I'm assuming because he was still providing for her. Like, and in her brain, she thinks Papa doesn't know about her being Superhead. Girl, I don't know. But the only hints we got about Papa and his identity in the book was that he was a rapper, he was respected, and that she listened to this rapper when she was a child. So that's the only information that we know. When she did her press tour for the book, that is when it was released who Papa was. She finally revealed his identity. And if you guys remember earlier, I said somebody from the Power Universe is in here. Yeah, it is Method Man, okay? And Method Man is very interesting to me because he likes to portray himself as one thing, specifically a supporting husband. I've noticed throughout the years, he's always tried to be a very supportive husband in the media because of his wife's illness.
People staring at her, pointing at her, talking about how sick she is. Nobody knew anything until Wendy Williams said that shit.
She hasn't won a lot of fans, man.
She doesn't have any fans, and the people that listen to her just as f***ing dumb, because the bitch is an idiot, man. She's a f***ing idiot, man. It's like she can say whatever she want to say about me. I never call up there for shit. She can say whatever she want to say. But you don't attack my fucking family, man.
Even in the book, he was almost violent with her and was like, because she wanted to surprise him at a hotel and she was naked on the bed and he like snapped on her. I was like, what if my wife was with me? I'm a married man, like blah, blah, blah. Again, making themselves the victim and Karrine this home wrecking, you know, floozy. When it's like, bro, you should be saying all that stuff to yourself. Like, why are you doing all this stuff when you have that? But she apologized to him, but that was after the book was already released, and the internet is forever. So once you say who Papa is, like, we kind of just know who he is now.
Oh, yeah, and Dr. Dre, but it wasn't that memorable. Yeah, you're not missing out.
told her to write all those books, if she was
Right.
really up under my tutelage,
Right.
that
She
would have
was
never
snitching
happened.
like that, man.
That would have
Yeah,
never
but-
happened. So I don't really connect to her. That was kind of foul.
Right, it was.
She admired you, though, as somebody who gave her some games. But even if that's all you told her, that's probably all she needed to know.
So speaking of the internet being forever, we're going to talk about the aftermath of Confessions of a Video Vixen. Diddy did try to hit her up to sue, and her publisher was basically like, let the book come out first, and if you have anything against what is said, sue. No case was ever formed. A few of the rappers denied. Ja Rule took pride in starting the name. A lot of people didn't even really read it though. The main headliners were Jay-Z and DMX really, and Shaq. I remember back in the day, whenever you talked about Superhead, it was like, oh, she said Shaq's thing was small. She said DMX be barking, and she gave Jay-Z top, which was Beyonce's man. Like, that was like the main response that I remember seeing. I remember seeing her go on Tyra Banks, and Tyra just being like a total not a girl's girl.
We're back with the controversial author of Confessions of a Video Vixen, Karrine Steffans. Now, the views expressed in her book are not mine, and I want to make this very clear, that I have no idea if these allegations are true or not. You're saying you had sex with all the men that you just named?
Yes.
So why did you write this book?
To heal. I had to admit it to myself, what I did.
But you had to know that naming the names and talking about the sexual exploits is what was gonna put the book, at the top of New York's best-selling list.
It's funny to me how everyone is so concerned about naming the celebrities, but no one is concerned about me naming the man that raped me when I was 13 and how his life is going to be now. You know what I mean? And so it just shows me that we're in a celebrity hypnotized society.
But you were hypnotized by the celebrity.
Exactly.
Upset people from writing this book?
I haven't heard anything from anyone. The people that are most upset will be my mother and my ex, because they were the most brutal to me, and I was honest about that. Brutality, and that upsets them.
So these
Celebrities are
rappers
fine.
aren't upset that you wrote about them?
No, they're fine, because there were so many things that I left out. The things that, I got a lot of
So
calls.
if you ran into Usher, or you ran into Jay-Z, or you ran into, they're like, hey, Karrine, it's cool?
Well, we
I can't
haven't
imagine
been
that.
cool for years.
Because I'll admit, if somebody wrote something about me in a book, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, people wrote things about me in songs. So I've been pissed off before. I've been written about in magazines, that were lies, and I've been pissed off before too. And
So weren't you miserable and upset
Not when
and
I wrote
bitter?
this book. Not when I wrote this book.
Karrine, I
wrote
have to
this book-
disagree with you, because when I read the book, you were saying that you're really upset that, that you were down and out, that these were the guys that you would go out with and wine and dine. I think you are a very smart woman, you're very articulate, and I think you do know exactly what you did. And you knew that naming names would be the thing that makes the press, because you were attracted to that. You're attracted to names, you're attracted to celebrity, and I think you do understand that naming these names means that, this is going to get attention.
Okay.
And I want you to be honest and sit here and be honest with me.
Well, you know
because-
what? I just wrote the book, and my publisher made that decision. Initially, the book had no names in it, and there were a lot of things that have been taken out.
But the publisher can only make the decision
The
of
publisher
what you
made the
agree
decision,
with.
and I agreed with it because I felt that it was the truth, and it was actual. I didn't hide anything.
Karrine Steffans, thank you for being here, and thank you for being honest. You're dying inside, aren't you? I haven't been the hardest on you. I've seen your interviews, there have been people that are super duper duper hard on you. This was actually a walk in the park.
Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it today. I'm moody.
You're moody?
Yeah.
Well, you came on, and hopefully you're on a better step to get your life in the right direction.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Like being a total bitch, but what's fucking new? Like all that negativity right there. I did see she released more books after the fact as well, but the general response was kind of like shaming her. And
She pretty much became a hermit after the book came out. She doesn't go. She used to be out and about. She was a party girl before that. She used to be everywhere. After she did the book, you don't see her. She doesn't go out. If that's what a couple of dollars is means to you, then that's cool. Like I couldn't live my life like that. I would. What I'm saying? That's not living. Have money and fame or whatever, and not be able to go out and enjoy yourself. Like that's not cool.
she made a good point. Like women groupies, rock star groupies, do this all the time, and they name drop. Like it's a thing. It's just never been done in the hip hop space before, and she's completely right. I commend her for telling her truth. I feel like this story is even relevant today because, history repeats itself. We went from the independent working class woman society, and now we're kind of going back into the nuclear family, conservative, the man brings home the money, going back into these like ways. It's really good to see the dangers of financial abuse, the dangers of SA within marriages where you can't get out because of certain abuses, and just the industry in itself just being so sexually charged and dark, really too, like so transactional. Nobody ever saves you for real. Like Ice-T didn't save her. He just kept her afloat for a bit, I would love to read her 2 other books. I just wanted to read this one first and like really get into it without having the future in mind. Like, I wanted to know what everybody else knew when it first came out. I didn't want to hear the cleanup, because I know she has a book called like Vindicated, and then like there's another one. Like, I don't want to see the cleanup. I want to read the book. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like she wasn't even really done healing when the book was done. And she even admits, like, yeah, I wouldn't even be a millionaire if I didn't drop the book. Like, I think that book, her testimony, saved her life. I really do. My questions and why I say I'm willing to read the other books is I want to know about her relationship with her son. I would like to know his relationship with women and how he views women, having a mother like this, who is so outwardly sexual and who wrote all their dirty laundry for the world. Like, more people know about your mom's sex life than you do, type shit. Like,
I'd like to know, based on the subject matter and the content of the book, why would you dedicate a book like this to your son?
Because this is my life story, and this is a subject matter not just of my book, but of my life. And my son went through a lot of this with me. When I slept in the car, he was the only person in the car with me.
But you put your son, and you dedicated your book to the son, which means it opens it up to his school, because his name is in the book.
His first name's in the book. A lot of children named Naeem.
Yeah, but you pick him up at school, and you look just like this.
Okay,
So
and all the parents are going to be, I'm in the PTA.
I would like to hear his perspective. Did he feel abandoned? What was it like living with his father? Was his father different towards him? Like, was his father neglectful because he didn't want him? Like,
So when was the last time G-Rap saw his son?
My son, whose name is Naeem. Naeem is my son. Naeem doesn't have a father. And the court system here in Los Angeles has actually revoked G-Rap's rights. G has no right to his son. The boy is almost 18. You know, once he's 18, he can do whatever he wants. And if it's something that he wants, then I'll help facilitate that for him. But G doesn't deserve my son.
I really want to hear his story. I need to go and see if he got a book. Like, I really want to hear his story. But yeah, I think this is a very good book to read for anybody that has like a sibling or a niece or a cousin that's like, oh, I just turned 18, I'm about to start an OF, and I'm about to start tricking City Girl Summer. Like, I feel like this is, instead of letting them read Go Ask Alice, you need to let them read this, because this will traumatize you straight. This will traumatize you straight, okay? Let me know what you guys think. If I do read the other two books, I'm going to just read both of them and then make a whole video, like the aftermath of whatever. Like, I'm not gonna drag it, girl. Thank you so much for watching this long book review, long awaited, long video, all of that. Make sure you guys give... Girl! No, but seriously, thank you guys so much for watching this long ass video. Please give me a big thumbs up and suggest any other books you would like me to review. Stay safe, wrap it up, don't slut shame, period.